Hello and welcome to our video on the psychology of serial killers. In this video, we will explore what drives individuals to commit such heinous crimes and examine the psychological theories that attempt to explain their behavior. We will also delve into the minds of some of the most infamous serial killers in history to better understand the complexity of their psychological makeup. Please note that this video contains graphic content and viewer discretion is advised. What is a serial killer? Before we dive into the psychology of serial killers, let's first define what a serial killer is. A serial killer is someone who has killed 3 or more people over a period of time with a cooling off period between each murder. This cooling off period is what distinguishes a serial killer from a mass murderer, who kills multiple people in a single incident. The psychology of serial killers. Now that we have a clear understanding of what a serial killer is, let's explore the psychology behind their actions. There are several theories that attempt to explain why individuals become serial killers. The first theory is the biological theory, which suggests that some people are born with a genetic predisposition to violence and aggression. This theory is supported by research that has found a correlation between certain genetic markers and violent behavior. However, it is important to note that not all individuals with these genetic markers become violent, and not all violent individuals have these genetic markers. The second theory is the psychological theory, which suggests that childhood experiences, such as abuse or neglect, can lead to the development of psychopathic traits. Psychopathy is a personality disorder characterized by a lack of empathy, impulsivity, and a tendency towards antisocial behavior. Psychopaths often exhibit manipulative and deceitful behavior, and may engage in criminal activity without remorse. The third theory is the sociological theory, which suggests that societal factors, such as poverty or inequality, can contribute to the development of serial killers. This theory suggests that individuals who grow up in disadvantaged environments may feel powerless and turn to violence as a means of gaining control or asserting dominance. Famous serial killers and their psychology. Now that we have explored some of the theories behind the psychology of serial killers, let's examine some of the most infamous serial killers in history and try to understand their psychological makeup. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy is one of the most notorious serial killers in history, having confessed to the murder of 30 young women in the 1970s. Bundy was known for his good looks and charm, which he used to lure his victims into his car. He would then torture and sexually assault them before killing them. Bundy's psychological makeup is a subject of much debate among psychologists. Some have suggested that he was a psychopath, while others have argued that he suffered from borderline personality disorder. What is clear is that Bundy was a master manipulator who was able to deceive those around him, including his victims. Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer, also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal, was responsible for the murder and dismemberment of 17 young men and boys in the 1980s. Dahmer was known for his fascination with necrophilia and cannibalism, and would often keep body parts in his apartment. Dahmer's psychological makeup was complex, and he was diagnosed with a variety of mental illnesses, including borderline personality disorder and schizophrenia. He claimed that his desire to kill and dismember his victims was motivated by a desire to keep them close to him and prevent them from leaving. He also expressed feelings of loneliness and isolation, and stated that he saw his victims as objects to fulfill his desires rather than as human beings. John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy, also known as the Killer Clown, was responsible for the rape and murder of 33 young men and boys in the 1970s. Gacy was known for his clown persona and would often perform at children's parties. Gacy's psychological makeup has been the subject of much speculation, but he was ultimately diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. He was also known to have suffered from depression and bipolar disorder. Gacy had a troubled childhood, with a strained relationship with his father and a difficult relationship with his peers. He was also sexually abused by a family friend as a child, which may have contributed to his violent behavior later in life. Conclusion. In conclusion, the psychology of serial killers is a complex and multifaceted topic that requires a deep understanding of the various theories that attempt to explain their behavior. While there is no single explanation for why individuals become serial killers, research suggests that a combination of biological, psychological, and sociological factors may play a role. It is important to remember that while we may be fascinated by the minds of serial killers, their actions are heinous and have caused immeasurable harm to their victims and their families. As we continue to study the psychology of serial killers, we must do so with empathy and respect for those who have been affected by their crimes. Thank you for watching, and we hope that this video has provided some insight into the complex world of serial killers and their psychology.